Hi, welcome to episode 6, and we are talking about magic today, where the magic happens. I want to share some insights with you. I've been thinking about confidence, and it's certainly something that is super duper important in business and in literally everything that we do, because how we show up is going to really affect what results we get. And it's common to think of confidence as being almost like a circle of confidence. I'm sure you've heard of that before. And I want to take that concept one step further. So, if you in your mind drew your circle of confidence, everything that's inside that circle feels like it's the safe place. It's easy, it's safe, it's where you kind of naturally fall into whenever you're doing things or what you feel comfortable with. And really, what's inside that circle is what I like to call your sort of beta zone. That's where you are being a beta because you're staying safe. You might even be keeping yourself small without necessarily realizing it. You're feeling comfortable with everything you're taking on, and that's great. But what I want to move this concept over to is thinking about this line. So the actual circle that exists, that circle, the actual fine line that it has, where it's the boundary, that is something that we can work on. And we've talked many times about growing your confidence and coming out of your circle of confidence as well, and circle of comfort. That line really represents that boundary and where you see things as becoming harder, difficult, more tough, and just like having that resistance almost. And something that you're not wanting to do would be sitting on the line, if not outside the line. Now, I want you to think about this line as being the alpha. So if you are being alpha, you would be sitting on that line. So that means you are pushing yourself not so far that you are like way away from your comfort zone that's really threatening for you and traumatic, because that's not what we want, but enough to keep nudging that boundary so that it can slowly, that circle can really get bigger and bigger, because with the repetition, with experience, with time, with doing things over and over again, and everything that you do, your confidence will grow. So the first time that if you pick something that's sitting on that line for you and you went out there and worked towards that, the second time, third time, the fourth time, you will not feel the same sort of resistance. Now, I'm not saying it's going to magically become the most comfortable thing for you to do, but it does take us a lot of pushing and a lot of energy and focus, and obviously having that intention that it's something that you want to conquer. So this is a really interesting topic, and I feel like thinking about it visually really does help me, because where am I sitting inside that circle of confidence, and where am I on the line, and where am I actually increasing the size of that circle because I'm able to push the boundaries and be getting further and further. We sometimes fail to realize that. So over time, if there's something you're working on, it will just become part of your circle of confidence. So because your circle has grown, that no longer meets that kind of resistance, but there's something else that will. And one thing I want to say is it's great to reflect on anything that you have done that you have actually either conquered, or you've just got more comfortable with it. There's got to be something that you are doing better today than you were 6 months ago or 1 year ago. And I want you to just acknowledge that, because let's face it, we never really give ourselves that much praise, do we? We're just so caught up in the doing, running our business, trying to do all we can, but we don't really stop and reflect that much. So I want you to take that time. If there's sort of two things today I want you to take away. One is to reflect on something you've done and actually acknowledge and accept that you are really good at that and you were not once. Um, the fact that you've done this, so really feeling proud and happy, and sit with that for a moment. You know, how nice is it to compliment ourselves, you know? And that's the first thing I want you to do. Then second thing is I want you to think of one thing that either has been keeping you stuck for a while and you're not quite getting anywhere, or perhaps you've been avoiding it altogether. You know, perhaps there's something that you never quite get around to doing. You never quite have time for it, and it's the thing that falls off your to-do list, or it always, like literally, remains there but never gets looked at. What one thing can you think of, and just one small step that you can take towards understanding that better, of, you know, maybe what you're meeting resistance for and why that might be? Because, you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, we have to really work on ourselves every single day. And the more that we analyze and look at the detail, it will really help us, because, you know, everybody is going to be different in terms of what they find difficult, but we don't spend enough time because it feels uncomfortable. We might just be avoiding things or not necessarily taking that next step that there is, if you're already maybe started, but then stumbled on kind of just pausing and stopping and halting altogether. So that's the second thing I want you to do, is just pick one thing and sit with it and just sort of think about it, and, you know, take your time, just having it in the back of your mind that, you know, I wonder what that is. And, you know, hopefully the answer will come to you, because, you know, when we have to ask ourselves the question for the answer to come, and sometimes we just don't know, off the top of our head, we don't know, but if we do focus on it, we will get the answer. So that's today's session. I hope you found it useful. Please do check in on the previous episodes. We're on episode 6 today, and this is, I'm loving this series. I hope you are enjoying it just as much. And if you've got a moment, I would love for you to hop on over to YouTube and give these videos a like. And if you can, give me a comment. That would be wonderful too. I would love to be able to share my message with more people, and that would be really helpful to be able to do that. So take care, and until next time, bye from me.